Despite the deep wounds, Sarah decided to give their marriage another chance. She set strict boundaries and insisted on transparency, hoping to rebuild the trust that had been shattered. James, determined to prove his commitment, agreed to counseling and made every effort to be honest and open. It was a difficult journey, filled with setbacks and painful memories, but they both held on to the hope of healing their relationship. Months turned into years, and slowly, the cracks in their marriage began to mend. Through counseling, open communication, and a renewed commitment to each other, Sarah and James started to rebuild their life together. The scars of betrayal remained, but they served as a reminder of the fragility of trust and the importance of nurturing their bond. With their relationship on firmer ground, Sarah and James began to envision a future reimagined. They set new goals and aspirations, both individually and as a couple, and worked towards achieving them together. This renewed sense of purpose brought excitement and anticipation for what lay ahead. Just as Sarah and James began to settle into their new rhythm, an unexpected twist shook their newfound stability. One evening, while they were enjoying a quiet dinner at home, James received a mysterious phone call. The caller's voice was familiar yet elusive, sending a chill down James's spine. He excused himself and stepped outside to take the call, leaving Sarah with a sense of unease. As the days passed, James became increasingly preoccupied and distant. He assured Sarah that everything was fine, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. She noticed him receiving late-night texts and making secretive phone calls. The trust they had painstakingly rebuilt seemed to be crumbling once again. Sarah decided to investigate. One night, after James had fallen asleep, she carefully picked up his phone and scrolled through his messages. Her heart raced as she discovered a series of cryptic texts from an unknown number, filled with references to meetings and plans. Her worst fears resurfaced, but this time, she was determined to uncover the truth. Sarah confronted James the next morning, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and desperation. "Who have you been talking to, James? What are you hiding from me?" James's face paled as he realized he could no longer keep the secret. He sat down, took a deep breath, and confessed. "Sarah, I need to tell you something. The phone calls and texts, they're from Emma." Shock and betrayal washed over Sarah. "Emma? I thought you ended things with her. How could you do this to me again?" James shook his head. "It's not what you think. Emma reached out to me a few weeks ago. She's in trouble and needs my help. I didn't want to worry you, so I kept it a secret. I know I should have told you, but I didn't want to lose the trust we rebuilt." Sarah's mind raced. She didn't know whether to believe James or to fear the worst. "What kind of trouble is she in?" she demanded. James explained that Emma had become entangled in a dangerous situation involving her ex-boyfriend, who was threatening her. She had nowhere else to turn, and James felt a sense of responsibility to help her. Torn between her lingering mistrust and her empathy for Emma, Sarah faced an agonizing decision. She could choose to trust James and support his efforts to help Emma, or she could demand that he cut all ties and focus solely on their marriage. After a long, painful deliberation, Sarah chose to stand by James. "I don't like this, James, but I trust you. We'll help Emma together. But you have to be completely honest with me from now on. No more secrets." James agreed, relieved that Sarah was willing to give him another chance. Together, they devised a plan to assist Emma while safeguarding their relationship. It was a risky move, but they hoped it would ultimately strengthen their bond. Sarah and James met with Emma to discuss the situation. Emma, visibly shaken, explained the threats she had been facing. Sarah, though still wary, offered her support and reassured Emma that she was not alone. As they worked together to protect Emma, the danger became more palpable. There were moments of fear and tension, but through it all, Sarah and James remained united. They leaned on each other for strength, proving that their love could withstand even the most daunting challenges. With the crisis resolved and Emma safe, Sarah and James finally found themselves on solid ground once again. They had faced their fears and doubts head-on, emerging stronger and more resilient. The ordeal had tested their love, but it had also reaffirmed their commitment to each other. As they stood hand in hand, ready to face whatever the future held. Sarah and James knew that they had built something truly extraordinary. Their journey, though fraught with challenges, had led them to a place of deep, abiding love and unwavering trust. And in that, they found their happily ever after. Just as they began to feel a sense of normalcy, shadows from the past resurfaced. Sarah started receiving anonymous letters hinting at more secrets James might be hiding. Each letter contained just enough detail to stir doubt, but not enough to provide clarity. The suspense gnawed at Sarah, reigniting old insecurities. One particularly disturbing letter suggested that James had a child with another woman. The idea seemed preposterous, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that there might be some truth to it. She decided to confront James, but before she could, a woman named Laura showed up at their doorstep, a young boy in tow. Laura introduced herself and claimed that James was the father of her son, Alex. James was visibly shocked but insisted he had no recollection of Laura or any involvement with her. Laura produced what she claimed was undeniable proof, a series of photos and letters that seemed to corroborate her story. Sarah, reeling from this new revelation, felt her world unraveling once more. Desperate for the truth, she demanded a DNA test to confirm or refute Laura's claims. The waiting period for the test results was agonizing, filled with tension and suspicion. The day the DNA results arrived, Sarah and James sat together, their hands trembling as they opened the envelope. The results were negative. James was not the father of Laura's son. Relief washed over Sarah, but the damage had already been done. The trust she had fought so hard to rebuild was once again on shaky ground. James, angered by the false accusations, confronted Laura, who tearfully admitted that she had been manipulated by someone seeking to ruin James's life. She apologized profusely and left, leaving Sarah and James to pick up the pieces of their fractured trust. With the mastermind behind the plot exposed, Sarah and James faced a daunting task, rebuilding the trust that had been shattered once again. The revelation of Emma's ex-boyfriend's deceit brought a mix of relief and frustration. While they were relieved to know the truth, the scars left by the ordeal ran deep. Sarah struggled with lingering doubts and insecurities. Despite James' unwavering commitment and efforts to be transparent, she found herself questioning everything. Could she fully trust James again? Would their marriage ever be the same? James, guilt-ridden over the pain he had caused Sarah, doubled down on his efforts to prove his fidelity and commitment. He was determined to regain Sarah's trust and rebuild their relationship stronger than before. Counseling sessions became a regular part of their routine, providing a safe space for them to address their feelings and work through their challenges. As they navigated this turbulent period, Sarah and James leaned on each other for support. They shared their deepest fears and vulnerabilities, slowly bridging the emotional distance that had grown between them. Small gestures of affection and reassurance became lifelines in their journey toward healing. But despite their progress, the road ahead remained uncertain. Sarah grappled with the fear of being blindsided again, while James wrestled with his own guilt and remorse. They both knew that rebuilding trust would take time and effort, a delicate balance of forgiveness, honesty, and patience. Amidst the turmoil, Sarah found solace in her friendships and hobbies, seeking moments of joy and fulfillment outside the confines of their relationship. James, too, immersed himself in work and self-reflection, striving to become the husband Sarah deserved. Their journey toward reconciliation was marked by setbacks and breakthroughs. There were moments of doubt and frustration, but also glimpses of hope and renewal. Through it all, their love for each other endured, a beacon of strength during their darkest moments. As months turned into years, Sarah and James emerged on the other side of their ordeal with a renewed sense of gratitude and resilience. The scars of betrayal had not faded completely, but they had become symbols of their shared determination to overcome adversity. Their story became a testament to the power of love, forgiveness, and second chances. They celebrated each milestone and cherished the simple joys of everyday life together. Sarah and James knew that their journey was far from over, but they faced the future hand in hand, stronger and more united than ever before. And so, with each passing day, Sarah and James continued to write their story, a story of resilience, redemption, and the enduring power of love. In the end, they realized that love was not about never experiencing pain, but about being able to heal and grow from it. Their journey had transformed their pain into strength and their mistakes into lessons, leading them to a future reimagined, a future built on trust, understanding, and an unbreakable bond.